What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Monday, November 28th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, fixed air moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all very much. Thank you so much for helping the channel get to 3,000 subs. That's super cool and, a big accomplishment for myself and this channel and putting this information out there. So I am so grateful and could not be more appreciative just to have you here with me and the people that show up day in, day out and leave comments and all the support, and people have donated before, and there's just so many kind things, from the things people say to just the likes to simple little donations. Like, it's crazy. It just means so much to me, and hitting that milestone, I just really wanted to start off with that gratitude. These horoscopes would be nothing if you didn't watch them. Like, I don't want to just sit here and talk to myself, so to have viewers just means the world to me, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Well, I'll be back in the office tomorrow. This is just got home. It's late, and tomorrow's gonna be a busy day. The astrology tomorrow is pretty good, but the moon is gonna be heavily aspected here in Aquarius. It's going to be traversing through that second decan, and it is going to make nice sextiles over to Venus, over to Mercury, which are still hanging out in Sagittarius. Mercury is going to come to 18 degrees, Venus is going to get up to 16 degrees, and the moon's going to make some really nice aspects. Now, Aquarius Sagittarius brings a lot of freedom. It brings a lot of different approaches, trying out new things, getting the channel and being like, yeah, let's go. So it's definitely giving us some oomph and some fire and some logic and some air. And I would say too, with the moon meeting with Saturn by the end of the day, that's not necessarily a comfortable vibe, but with Mars in trine to Saturn today and with the moon finishing off that, it's very interesting about how we're taking these avenues and kind of trusting our intuition and kind of aiming our arrow. And if we're able to feel comfortable in maybe the unknown, then it's almost like that work is going to really pay off. I do think today does feel busy. It's going to feel like there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. It can feel like things are kind of coming out of nowhere. And really, there's a few things that are happening with that. Of course, it's the moon in Aquarius, which is definitely bringing up people in our life and groups and friends and kind of different ways of thought and even emotion and having us detach. But of course, Venus with Mercury and the aspects to the moon to Venus bring up people too. But Venus quincunx Uranus is very interesting. Uranus retrograde, of course, at 16 degrees of Taurus, is definitely giving us, oh, wow, it just seems like a lot of different looks at people in our lives. It could feel like we're just finding tribe energy. It could definitely be weird, almost like you're seeing what isn't resonating and what isn't kind of going in the same, way that you're believing in life or where you're aiming your arrow right now in Sagittarius season, especially with the sun here in Sag at 6 degrees and really starting to approach Antares and getting into that orb. But very interesting with people, and we're going to see the moon also square the nodes and square Uranus as well. So heavily aspected moon. A lot of dealing with people. It feels like maybe there's contracts that could be coming up. It's almost like things are just divinely aligned to kind of go in a different direction right now, or to continue building in something that's very valuable. I think we just have to be okay with if things are ending. Of course, we are in those times. It's South Node Scorpio. We have to be able to detach and kind of, not get too obsessed over anything right now. We definitely, I feel like, can detach, look at things objectively, see where people are really on the vibe in our life and build in those directions. I feel like this is such a good day to see where people are at in your life. And I feel like it's a great reflection of just kind of what is valuable when it comes to the relationships in our life. Where are these journeys going? Have the journeys ended in some places, or are they just getting started in another place? And gosh, I feel like it can be different for a lot of people, but I feel like if we're just staying kind of persistent today with moon finishing with Saturn and also trining Mars, we're gonna see some kind of reward, right? We're gonna feel like I've been putting the work into this journey in my life, to what I'm trying to expand, what's bringing me a lot of value. And I'm trying to connect fully to that frequency right now. And you're almost going to get the payoff if you have been. And then I feel like it's almost like this day too is like, okay, I was kind of lazy. I didn't put work in at this point in my life. I'm staying in situations I don't want to be in. then I feel like we do get zapped a little bit. And maybe, you know, it's not like we're actually going to get hit with lightning or anything. Hopefully not. But I do think that, you know, tonight could cause some restless energy. Like a lot of people could end up laying up in their bed kind of thinking and feeling restless and tossing and turning. And if you do get to that point tonight when you try to fall asleep, like it really is trying to show you different perspectives. It's trying to give you, while you're staying in that place and kind of coming back into your own, that you can look at things in such a bigger perspective. You can really see outside the box. Like, listen to that. And then I also think that there's a lot going on today in terms of like, if we're ready to get things and kind of tackle life head on and, you know, act with the truth of the matter, act with what we want, what's going to keep us stimulated, what isn't stimulated, what doesn't feel like it has long-term value, what are we committing to right now? It's very important. And I think either we get to the end of the day and we're absolutely beat and exhausted and it's just easy to sleep because we know that we're putting in effort to be on the journey that we want to be on and we're living life that's making us feel happy and hopeful, or we're kind of going the different direction. And I feel like today does bring sort of that harshness, but it's almost not a harshness. It's almost just like, just wake up and see that you don't have to do this anymore. You can really open doors. You can expand things in your life that maybe you didn't even realize you could. And, you know, I feel like that's kind of the cutting right now with Mars and Gemini, is trying to make, you know, it's trying to make sense of our egos and where we're putting our mind and how we understand ourselves and what we want. And especially with the trine to Saturn and with the moon right on Saturn for this trine, like it is beneficial, but it's like you got to put the work in on yourself, and then you got to channel that into your life, and you got to kind of do the things, and you got to stay forward thinking. And, you know, we can't, I guess with the moon in Aquarius, we don't want to get like overly emotional, especially with it squaring the south node in Scorpio. It can be easy to attach to an overly emotional perspective on everything, but we got to look at what's logical and what's smart and what's expansive, and look at things abstract and look at the possibilities. It's not so much about this is the, you know, the way, or, you know, there's only one way, but you do know your way intuitively. And I think today's a really good chance to test out your intuition and put effort into the things that you feel like are building forward in your life, to the relationships that are building forward, to the people, to the jobs. There's so much that can be created right now. I think we have to remember that with the North Node in Taurus. Like, there's so much to connect and build and like ground ourselves in, but there's also the detachment and the disconnection that has to take place. And I think that this Monday gives us a nice zap from Uranus and from Saturn in Aquarius that's saying, hey, you need this kick in the butt to make a change, to have a better environment, to have a better, you know, network. I feel like networking's big. What's your network like right now? Do you feel valued in it? Do you feel like you're able to put your opinions out there and everything's can come full circle and we can have discussions? Or is it just one way? One way is the only way. Is it someone else's way? Is it your way? I mean, this is definitely a day where everybody can win, but you're going to see people try and force their hand and take over. And again, these are things that could keep us up late at night if we're not setting good boundaries for ourselves, because of just the higher perspective and the emotional intelligence that we can definitely be having and channeling today, especially again with Venus in quincunx to Uranus and Taurus. This is it almost feels like a people carousel in some ways. Like, we could definitely see relationships, universe spinning people off, throwing newcomers on. Like, there's just definitely adventures with people that, you know, the universe wants to give you a more valued experience on this planet, but, you know, we can definitely hold on for dear life to situations that aren't showing that. And I would hope that we can all channel the energy that's in more of alignment with the freedom and the happiness and the expanse of our individual souls. Let's see what's in the tarot for this Monday. What a day. Oh man, let me just tell you while I shuffle these cards, I've never commuted up and down California for Thanksgiving before, because I never lived this far from my family up there. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. That was 2 days of 12-hour drives. And I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Maybe I'll celebrate Thanksgiving with family like a week before or a week after. Like, I don't know, but the holiday commute in the state of California, like, no. That's a 7.5 hour drive that took 12 each time. It's not just like driving for 12 hours, it's traffic for 12 hours. It's painful. Anyways, just wanted to vent that because Jesus Christ. Sometimes I like to share things with the card, of course. We got the Six of Pentacles upright. This is a great card for, knowing how much to give because you know how much you have. And making sure that, your journey is in alignment, that your values are in alignment so that you can give and, really help people out that need more value in their life or, need your perspective. Like, it can be a good time to lend your hand to someone who needs it because maybe, people watching this channel are feeling pretty good today and someone else could use their help or their networking, and maybe we got to show up and, also give back to a lot of Aquarius, a lot of Uranus. Like, I feel like it is a very humanitarian, a very like, let's help each other out today. It can go a long way, especially when it's dealing with Pentacles and Earth and that North Node in Taurus, like a value, People who are going the same way have similar values in life right now and a similar belief of how to navigate to get more value. Lending a helping hand could be huge for our individual self and that service, and also to the person receiving. Oh, we got the Five of Swords upright. I don't know, anybody trying to play tricks or get the upper hand or be overly like combative with you today, like, I don't know, it's got kind of shady energy around it and probably not worth like lending that helping hand to, Pay attention to who's trying to like take your power away and kind of snicker in the background, and then pay attention to who's really on your team, on your vibe. And the Knight of Cups in reverse. It could, I don't know, it's one of those days where it's going to be a mixed bag. I feel like some people could really be feeling like they can't push forward right now, like we're kind of stuck or we can't figure out the next step. And I would say that, you got to trust your intuition right now. You got to trust your feelings. That's one of the beautiful things about Sagittarius season, is it's so intuitive. It's just ethereal fire, right brain, creativity. Mercury's here, Venus is here, the sun's here. There's a lot of energy that we're getting, that if we can feel it and we're ready to believe it, because think about how much beliefs are connected to our emotions. So what we believe right now, and hopefully it can be positive, and we can channel that forward, can make leaps and bounds if you're, willing to emotionally commit to what is connected to value, what is connected to what you want to be moving forward in. And if there's blocks up or you're feeling stuck and you're overly trying to, make linear sense of something, I would say don't do that to yourself, especially with the Five of Swords. Like, it's almost like we're trying to figure out an impossible equation today, but really the higher aspects of ourself and our intuition already know. And if you can just act on that response, you're actually really giving to yourself, and you're giving to the people around you by being truthful and honest about where you're trying to go and what you're trying to create. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Monday, and I'll see you all from the office tomorrow. Much love. Peace.